last piece of the puzzle is you.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Saw Sunday. I guess it changed to Saw Sunday halfway through the thing. It just ended up being a lot easier to film these on Sundays, apparently, than Saturdays. Also, you might notice we have a little special guest behind us. It's my friend napping right now. So, yeah, she's here. Try not to let that distract you. So today we're going to be talking about Saw 7, the final chapter, and I'm very sad to say this is the last in the Saw Saturday/Sunday series, but I'm very excited about the future series to come. I think I'm going to do Freddy Fridays next because that's been the most requested, I think, out of all the series that I'm thinking of doing. So although this is the final chapter and Saw 7 and it is the last one in the series, there is talk that they want to film future sequels or prequels in the future, but it's probably going to be years down the line before they release another Saw film. This has me excited. When the original Saw came out, there was rumors that there were supposed to be 10 films. I think it'd be cool. However, in this one, I think it's the most produced for Hollywood type of film, if that makes sense. It's the most kind of generic. I feel like it really steps away from the original Saw vibes that the other ones have, and this one's definitely a much more Hollywood production. This was actually meant to be 2 movies. They were going to do part 1 and 2, but because Saw 6 did so poorly at the box office, they made it into one film. But this one is the most successful Saw film since the 4th one, so I guess they could have done the 2 parts, but I'm glad they didn't because everyone and their mother is doing 2-part movies, so I'm glad it's just one film. And as we know, this one was filmed for 3D, which is another reason why it felt super Hollywood to me, because some of it was just kind of cheesy. There's parts flying at you. When you're not in 3D, it looks kind of dumb, not gonna lie. So not only does this have the most traps at 11 than any other Saw film, it also has the most deaths. I think it has 27/28 deaths in a film, and they really went out with a bang. Can I say that? And this has some of the most disturbing traps, in my opinion. The garage scene, which, by the way, can we just say that Chester was in this from Linkin Park? I mean, he was actually really, really amazing in it. He did see an acting coach for this role, but I thought he did really great. So that trap, oh my gosh, it's the only one that I really have to look away. There's a part that kind of triggers my trypophobia, and that involves Chester and his skin, and so I can't really look at it, but in general, that one is super disturbing, and it kills 4 people at once, and it's just really, really messed up. That being said, it actually had to be submitted 7 times in order to get an R rating because the MPAA rating system wanted it to be an NC-17 because of all the blood. They use like 25 gallons of blood in this one, which that is my biggest pet peeve with this, is the gore was not good in this one, which I don't understand because the gore in the previous Saw films are way better. The blood in this, I mean, it looked like water, like red water, straight up. I don't know why they couldn't use like realistic looking blood when they always have. I don't know if their budget wasn't there. I don't know why. It just looked hella fake.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It could be because they had to pay Chester to be in it.
So let's get into a little bit of the plot. I actually really enjoyed this plot. Again, less about the detectives, more about a certain storyline. So we have this guy, what's his name? Bobby Dagen is this guy who is kind of like, he runs like a self-help group for survivors of Jigsaw, and it turns out he has never been in a trap from Jigsaw. He just kind of exploited everyone else's experience and saw that he could make money off of it, so he did, and he lied and said that he was a victim of Jigsaw. Also, I want to point out that Gabby from Scream Queens won a role in this one as well, because they did do a season 2 of Scream Queens, which I also watched. That was pretty cool. Also, there are 2 characters in this that are also in Final Destination films, which I think is pretty cool. We have one from Final Destination 3, and the main detective guy, Gibson, in this Saw film is in the original Final Destination movie, which I really like. So we get to see a lot more of Hoffman and Jill Tuck kind of battling it out. I mean, we know that the last one ends with her trying to kill Hoffman, and that goes unsuccessfully, as we know. And so in this one, he is just on a manhunt to kill Jill. That's what a lot of the footage ends up Okay, so I'm going to kind of talk about some spoilers and the ending of the film, so if you haven't seen it, don't watch it, or if you don't care, watch it. So Dagen ends up being put into a trap, and he has to go through multiple traps to either help people or, you know, save people, let them die, whatever he chooses to do, which is very similar to how the past few Saw films have been. I don't necessarily love these ones. As I said, I don't really like group type of traps, even though they're not like in a group. It's just kind of like two people, and I don't know. I feel like he doesn't actually have to hurt himself as much, although in the very end he ends up having to. So anyway, he has to try and save his lawyer, his publicist, and then his wife. And those traps actually are really cool, the ones that the girls are in. The one where he has to rip the fish hook out of her stomach and like rip it all the way up through her throat was pretty disturbing, and then she's not allowed to, the volume in the room is not allowed to go above a whisper, otherwise the spikes end up going in her neck. So that one was pretty cool and very creative. Oh, and the opening scene, we haven't even talked about that. The opening scene with it being in public, I thought that was so stupid. I mean, that would not be realistic at all for a trap to take place in public without anybody interfering first. Like, that's very unrealistic. Someone, I mean, they tried to break the glass with like her suitcase, this one lady. Someone would have broken the glass, okay? It's not like, you know, people would just stand there and watch these people die. So at the very end, Bobby has to basically perform his own trap that he designed in his mind when he came up with him being a survivor of Jigsaw. He said that he had to hoist himself through chains by piercing his pectoral muscles and then like using the chain to go up, and he actually had to do that, and I thought that was very funny. That's one of the critiques that I have about this, is we see that his wife Joyce does die. She gets cooked, which is very disturbing because her hair like falls out. I don't know, it's just very creepy. But what happens to him? We don't really see anything, or like, does he just starve to death in there? I don't know. And of course, my favorite part about this film is Dr. Gordon comes back, and oh my gosh, I love his character in this one because he did survive the very first film, which I think is so funny that they come full circle with it. Just like the Final Destination films, they just come full circle. And he has a huge role in this one. He actually traps Hoffman in the very first trap that we ever see in any of the Saw films. Oh, and he takes the saw, which is one of the cheesy parts, when he like throws the saw down the hallway, it like comes flying at us like it's supposed to be in 3D. I think that's stupid. Anyway, I love that they brought his character back and that he ends up being the one to kind of defeat Hoffman. And although that they did film this at, you know, with some closure, they filmed it in expectation that this would be the last one. I kind of hope that they bring something back just because I'm such a fan of these films. But I know that they're going to be disappointed if they do bring back the films, because as they go on, I think they, I don't want to say get worse and worse, but because I still like all the films and I do really like this one, I just have more like nitpicky things that I don't like about it. I know that the future ones will be also more Hollywoodized. Hollywoodized. That's a word. Let me know what you think about the Saw films and the series and this one in particular, and what you like and didn't like about it. And I hope you enjoyed this Saw series on my channel. Now I have reviewed all of them, which is weird to me. I will no longer review Saw films or Final Destination films. But let me know what series I should start next week. I'm very excited. Probably Fridays. I don't know. I think that's what most of you want. But anyway, leave your feedback down below. Make sure to leave some movie requests down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon.